I think the next 5, 6 minutes, if I'm allowed, is intended as a sort of personal story as to my motivations for giving. So I am firstly going to explain what Give It Away is actually all about. And then I'd like to add an overview about philanthropy in general that I have come to see from my own personal experience. Give It Away began because we had 5 cats. We decided to undertake a very major renovation on our house in Putney. We couldn't move out because of the 5 cats. So it was onerous, to say the least, but we all got along fine with the builders. The cats stayed with us, and at the end of the day we had this really nice house with a loft room at the top for yours truly to work in, except yours truly wasn't quite sure what work she was going to do. So I thought, well, I'm obviously ever so good at all this renovation stuff. We all watch DIY programs, but we're not watching bakery programs. And we're all very good at it, including me. So I thought, I'll be the new Sarah Beanie of Putney, but I will give the money away. So I got the name Give It Away Limited and got going. But what turned up in Putney was not what Sarah Beanie does. What turned up in Putney were new builds. So that's really not a good idea to leap into the property development area when you've never tiled a wall and start building new houses. So that's really difficult. And we started with the first 2, and before the first 2 were finished, took on another one. So all of a sudden we're building 3 at once. We, being the builders, not me, but I'm sort of in control of this. Anyway, we got through it, we finished it, and the first project ever that I had done made a whopping £635,000, because we managed to build 3 houses worth over £1 million each. We didn't know that when we set out. So that was amazing. So who to give the money to? I'm a limited company as Give It Away, not a charity, so it's entirely my call where I distribute these profits. So I set some parameters which unwittingly have proved very helpful, because a lot of people contact me with fantastic projects, but you can't spread yourself over everybody. So I chose local charities. This is now Greater London and Surrey, and I chose a certain group. So I'm not involved, I chose the smaller ones, I'm not involved with the multi-million-pound charities, and I avoid those who have royals and celebrities. I have no problem with that, good for them, but I'm not going to stomp around the building site in my pink wellies if they have that kind of support, because they really don't need me. Most of the charities I support have no government funding, so they really do need the money. And I like my donations to be given to a specific project rather than core overhead funds. So I asked them to come up with what do you need and why and what's it for. So I chose kiddies with terminal illness and life-limiting conditions where there's a single parent or carer and financial difficulty. I chose the kids in wheelchairs waiting for a motorised chair, because it's quite hard to get along if you're 9 years old on a non-motorised one. Kindergartens for 0 to 5 with very complex needs, both mental and physical, and they don't get any normal kindergartens, so it has to be provided for them. High-end autistic teenagers who are coming to the end of their school years at 17, what are they going to do next? It's a real problem. And then the young people who, the phrase seems to be now, with the chaotic home backgrounds, prison, exclusion, abuse, addictions, self-harm, bullying, unemployment, poverty, fear and loneliness. Mentoring can do wonders in situations like that to get them back into some form of mainstream life. So after the excitement of the Putney £1 million homes, and with the property industry in free fall in 2008, I stopped and I bought 2 show apartments. Thank God for Sky High rentals. So I bought them at the right time, had people in there renting, and subsequently I sold them, so that all worked out very well, and that profit, of course, went to Give It Away. 2011, I went back in and built 3 houses in Woking, and that gave me a profit of 202,000. So together with the rental income, I've now reached the target of 1 million. Now I have to say that target was a press target, because the press interview you all the time, and all they can talk about is, what's your target, what's your target? So just helplessly one day I said, I'll make 1 million. And I felt kind of pressured to do it, so I did. Anyway, the press, they're actually really good with me. They're quite positive about all of it. They're a bit bemused because they can't, it's really a bit amazing for them to meet a single individual. I don't have an enterprise, it's just me. I'm in property, I work very hard, I borrow money, I take huge risks, and then I hand it all out. Plus I'm female. This is not something they've ever met before. But as a result of published articles and TV and radio interviews, new charities find me and they ring me up and say, you know, do we fall into your remit? Could we meet? Excellent. I have some pro bono people on my list, and that's fantastic. The more help I get, the better is my bottom line. So I have a pro bono lawyer, structural engineer, IT expert, and I get lots of discounts. You have to walk the walk and talk the talk when you're buying tiles and bathrooms and kitchens, and it gets really tiring after 20 years. But just give me the kitchen with a 50% discount and you'll be fine. They press, publish their names, and people like that. So currently, I'm building 2 more houses in Woking. 4-bedroom detached properties on a complicated woodland site overrun with trees. Say no more. How's it going? Fantastic. Really fantastic. It's such fun. When are they ready? Don't ask me. 2015, 16, 15, spring. So that's Give It Away. It's a project of intense pockets of hard work, blood, sweat and tears, mostly the latter, mud-filled building sites with planning, scaffolding, neighbours, ditches, battling it all out. But there is an enormous goodwill. Everyone around me contributes to the end result because they all know where it's going. Why do I do it? Which is why I'm talking tonight. Why do I do it? Because these chosen charities make my heart beat. So what has this taught me overall about philanthropy? Research who you would like to donate to. I always meet the staff, the trustees, the beneficiaries, and the parents. It makes everything real. And because I asked to participate in what they're doing, because it's all project-based, I know exactly where the money I earn is going and what it's going to achieve. So I now know, following on from what Michael said, that I can help, personally and individually, to make some people's lives better. I don't do any of this because I've had some personal experience of any of the conditions that I see. I do it out of sheer human emotion because I can actually see someone who is suffering get some help as a result of what we're doing. So my experience has taught me, go into the detail. If it doesn't make your heart beat, don't do it. I'd like to leave you with a few quotes from some of the charities I'm closest to, because this is really why I give. There's just 3 quotes here. Buttle, who support families with the most basic of needs. It's hard to believe this goes on. Quote, I worry about money every day. There's not been a week since my mum died that I have not worried about money. We're just surviving. That's the only way I can describe it. The fridge is always empty. Sibling of 16 bringing up an 8-year-old. From Icon in Surrey, who mentor young people, Mark, aged 15. My stepfather kicked me out, and I was being bad at school. I was in so much pain. I talked to a teacher, and she suggested Icon. I was able to talk to them. Then my mum was diagnosed with cancer, and my best friend Matthew died. Icon gave me the tools to cope and supported me. When she died, I was able to speak at her funeral. I put that down to them and the help they gave me. And finally, Small Steps, actually in Putney, which is a joy for me, preschool for severely physically and sometimes mentally impaired children receiving no government funding. What Give It Away has done for Small Steps is tangible, it's real. The monies don't disappear into a black hole of nothing. Give It Away makes a real difference to real people's lives, like Erin and Imogen and Alejandra and Kit and Ellie. So that's where my real pleasure lies in giving.